Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Um, to oh, realized. There, that's better. It's on the wrong image. But we servers are kind of up on Fallout 76. I'm actually I didn't actually check. Yeah. So some people are still having issues logging in. I luckily was able to log in on a private server and a public server. Are you kidding me? Okay. Is it shutting down on my other one too? Oh nope, it's shutting down too. Maybe they're actually going to fix things. Maybe that's what's going on. Let me end the game. That'd be funny if in for 5 minutes and then the game just kind of quits on itself. Let's see. Let's check Discord. Let's see what they're yelling about on Discord. Rest in peace, servers. Yeah, hopefully this means they actually found the issue. If they're taking all the servers down. That's what we're currently waiting on right now. Let's go ahead and let's move this stuff over here. Pop this here. Change this to this. I did get some pleasant things. Realize it's, and this actually came up on both of my accounts. I did not know, and I'm not the person for all knowledge. Oh wow, yeah, my character Lupus Vissel, my Star Trek Online character. Yeah, the only reason why that's there is because the Star Trek Online actually is a screen grab, not an actual game grab. So it's a lot easier for me to do that. But I did not know that if he had leftover tickets at the end of the season, it got translated into gold bullion. And apparently it does. It does. I'm just checking with my other device to see if the game is actually going to come back up again. Nope. It's a new error message. All right. Announcements. We're taking servers offline now to work on a fix. All right, so the servers are actually fully down. So I was going to try to stream the new stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I want to test out with the new things, stuff like that. So I my stuttering issue. So when the Black Friday sale came on for Steam, they had Fallout 76 for sale. So I bought a second account, and I've actually been playing through the second account. I might actually start streaming the second account because it's interesting to play through. But there's a lot of stuff that this new season will allow me to test out. But the big thing that I noticed was that I generally try to spend as much of my tickets at the end of the season as possible. And I didn't know that they got transferred to gold. Maybe that's new for this season. They seem to want to just throw gold at people. But yeah, so the second account doesn't have Fallout First, so I ended up with like I made it to 39 in the week that I was playing, and had 75 tickets left over because I didn't. It doesn't have Fallout First, and that all got transferred to gold. So I got an extra 175. I also in the week, because I knew that the caravan system was being yoinked out. If you completed the starter quest, you could get 2,000 gold bullion, and so I did that because gold bullion. But so what will most likely happen now? I got into the game. And they realized, oh, someone's going to stream this, so we better end that. So most likely what will happen is I will wait for the servers to come back up and probably stream later on today. I got to do the dailies on my main account and my second account, and then we'll go from there. But well, this was a short, needless stream, which I probably will hide, or at least have my thoughts on some stuff. I will say, though, I am excited about this season. Oh, I can talk about that a little bit. Let's see. Seasons. Yeah. So the new season here, I'm actually pretty excited. It's a lot better than last season. I remember looking into last season and just going, I am not interested in any of this stuff. It was just, the problem is it had like, I don't know the math on this, but it had like 12 bowling balls, and they're absolutely pointless unless you're doing a specific build theme. And then the Abraxo and the pink cabinets and shelving and stuff like that. It just like, I think about 90% of last season I was not interested at all, and at least this season looks looks a little bit better. There are a few things here. So on my new account, it doesn't have Fallout First, but I did in the week that I was playing it get up to like 1,600 atoms from what I completed within the scoreboard for last season. Like I said, I got up to 39. I think there is 600 or something like that. And from, because it's a new account, completing the challenges within the system. I also was able to get those. So I have I think 1,800 right now atoms on the account, and I found out that if you do the full season here, there's about 2,000 atoms in here. There's 10 options for atoms. And I think it's split half and half. 5 are are free, 5 or not. So if I think I'm just going to buy this season. There's a lot of things I'm going to test when I buy this season. When I say buy the season, I'm going to spend the 1,500 to on Adams. But I mean, at least the season looks good. Now, if you have a Raider theme, they've been giving us Raider stuff partially through like the last few seasons. So getting more Raider stuff is nice. So with the Raider Brazers, I mean, if you're doing a Raider theme, it's nice. I myself seem to be drawn more towards the Mothman theme stuff. I have a couple of hidden Mothman themes in my other bases, but it's still the Raider theme is a theme, and it does give you a nice little thing here. Crushing for the prefix. I always pick these up is because sometimes you can make some really entertaining ones. I'm glad they're adding stamps back. You don't tend to see people doing expeditions all that much, and having stamps is pretty nice, especially for someone who doesn't want to spend the time. I do find it funny that the the hat for the Vault Tech cowboy costume is a first, and this is not Fallout first. It's kind of like pushing you towards getting Fallout first. Stabbed weaponry. All the stabbed weaponry is nice because they add a little bit of flair to when you're building something. Like you can put a knife on something and make it look like the freezer from I think it's last season. I don't remember if it's a mini season or the main season, but the flat freezer, you can actually sink it into a countertop a little bit, so it looks like a cutting board. Then you put a knife on it and some meat on it, and it looks like a decent cutting board. And it's a functional because it's also a freezer. So the stabbed weaponry is nice. Icons are kind of meh. Glad there's Adams on here. Rerolls. If you need rerolls, they're good. If you don't need rerolls, they're... I mean, if you get used to where you need to go to do dailies, you tend not to use rerolls, so they're fine. I kind of like the idea of the Scorch deterrents as camp decorations. These posters, I don't think I've ever put one of these posters in my camp, except for maybe with the fishing. More stabbed weaponry with a butcher's knife. And again, like I said, if you have like a something just to make a cutting board, you can put this butcher's knife, the meat cleaver, down somewhere, and it just adds a little more decoration. And if you are joining me and watching me, I was going to stream Fallout 76. I even got into the server, and then right after I got into the server, they took all servers down. We're currently waiting for them to update on what's actually going on. So I'm just going over the new scoreboard because I started a stream, so might as well talk about something. I really like the bathroom scale, even though it's a pressure plate, just because it just adds decorations. It's like the meat cleavers. Any of the small decorations that you can add to a location and just give it a little more lived in is actually really nice. So I do appreciate stuff like this, even though it's a pressure plate. You're gonna step on it, it's gonna make noises, but that's fine. The skull lamp. They are adding a lot of stuff Raider themed for this season. So I mean, I guess if that's your plan is what you want to do. There was actually a I don't remember if it was during Mischief Night or what else. But there was a Mothman lamp that actually looked more Raider-ish than this does. So, let me see if I can... Nuka Knights to the rescue, right? I think it was Mischief Night. If I can... Events... Of course, it's going to be hard to find because... you have a search function here. Oh, nope. What if I just do Mischief Night? Follow 76 rewards. Pretty sure it was on here. Yeah, so like this lamp and this scone, to me they look more Raider than they look Mothman, but I mean that's it for me. These magazines and stuff like this, I don't like collecting these things. There are other ways to collect stuff like this. Like just logging in daily, you will get combination stuff. And magazines, like mystery magazines, just don't interest me at all. I tend never to get these mystery magazines. Was there anything? No. So they have like this, lunchboxes and other stuff like that. They're just like pointless to me. Again, with like the suffix, you can just do interesting stuff with these, and sometimes they're a good way to match your theme. These images, they're meh. They're what they are. More this. I have not figured out what this bathtub is. I don't know if it's a collector of something or if it's just a decoration. If it's just a decoration, I will never have it in my camp. If it is like a toxic water collector, I probably won't have it in my camp because I don't have a ghoul character. Though I may. I mean, I have a long way to go. I'm gonna go through the missions on that character in the order that they're kind of released. So I may decide at some point to make a ghoul. I would at least have one ghoul character. I'm not a fan of being a ghoul, but that's just me. Fences are nice. Actually, I was looking at these, and I think so. We had the fishing updates recently, and you have docks and stuff like that. And the floating platforms that you can use as docks. This would add a lot of flavor to those docks, just because you would be able to make roped borders on them. But I mean that's just something. This golf course stuff. Not really interested that much. As with the shirt, I will probably get the T-Rex shirt because I will probably run around with the stuff at one point just for the fun of it. So this stuff right here, these lunch boxes and these scout banners, I never pick up. And now that I know that if I just let this stuff roll over, I'm gonna just get gold bullion. I will never pick these up. They're trash for me. Especially since the fact that you just get them if you log in daily, you will get 5 banners and 5 lunch boxes without even thinking twice about it. Another, I don't think of any, let's see, just going to kind of run through. I don't think any of these are really, of the icons are really interesting to me. I don't know. The icons are kind of one of those things where they go along. If I'm doing a theme character, which my wife and I tend to do a lot. We whenever there's a new event going on, we'll try to dress up to match the theme. I might change my icons to one of these, but not as of right now. Um, oops, I went back. Fireworks. I've seen people put fireworks all over their camps, and it's just noise. It's not as bad as the weather generator that just fireworks, which I hate it when I go to camps and people have that. And I understand that's their decision. That's their camp. That's what they want. But when I go there and I just like boom, 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 I'm just shaking my head going, what? So the second boost is doesn't tell me. That's page 4. Doesn't tell me what level that is. Bone fences. I am more likely to use these fences just for stuff than the bone fence. Like even if you're just doing a raider, I'm not sure why you would have bone fences, but that's just me. Cutthroat's a really really good suffix. Cat cutthroat, here you come. More stabbed weaponry. I also like collecting backpacks. Generally, when there's a new backpack, I will collect it. Is because, like I said, my wife and I we will tend to theme our costumes for the event. Generally, that means we have to change out our backpacks for something. And you just try to throw a backpack that as closely matches. No updates from Bethesda, by the way. Any updates on the server status? It says it's partially down, but they did take the servers all the way down. Actually, I should check the chat. No, they're just making jokes. I guess that's the only thing you can do. Nuclear cards. Here's the thing about nuclear cards. They sell for pretty good, but besides for getting them off the scoreboard and selling them, it's basically you're spending 20 tickets for 100 caps or something like that, 125 caps, which isn't good at all. So I get so many nuclear cards throughout the day, and I kid you not, if I'm playing for about a couple hours, I will generally get at least 1 or 2 nuclear cards, just because the vertibirds that fly over, they're annoying. They tend to scatter camps that you're trying to go through, which makes it harder to go through them. And so just killing them and knocking them out of the sky is generally the best thing you could do for them. And so I tend to get them. These are pointless. These are the same as the lunch boxes and the scout banners. They're worthless. They're pointless. I'm kind of meh on the taxidermy scorpion also. But at least there's more atoms. Like I said, there's 2,000 atoms in this, so at least getting the season for it does at least help pay for itself. Though if you, let's see, I wonder how many so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 5? Or is it just 4? 5. No, wait, that's the last page. Did I read it wrong earlier? One, two, three, four. Five. Yeah, there's five there. So five. So I guess if you just didn't want to pay for it, you would then get a net benefit of of 1,000. Paying for it, you would basically at a net loss of 500, not counting the 1,000 you get for just playing. I think it's still worth it, at least for me to do for one season. I hate pit point skins. There's only one skin I ever use, and that's the black matted. More raider benches. Like I said, they really are adding raider stuff into this season. And so if you want to do a raider camp, and I think they have a contest going for a raider camp. Yeah, they have a contest called the Kindest Raider Camp, so I think they're just wanting to push the raider idea. But it's nice. These new stash boxes, I love the new stash boxes. So there's the scrap box here. Then there is... why are we going the wrong way? There was a scrap box. There is the ammo box. And there should just be a stash box too. There's an aid box. I thought there was also a stash box. Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe I missed it. But I do like them. You can easily do a graveyard theme. There is definitely enough stuff in the game for a graveyard theme. But yeah. I do want this mask and I want this costume. It was kind of one of the reasons. There's this one. I thought there was another one that was actually a Fallout First one. Or am I crazy? No. I keep on trying to hit the arrow here because that's what I'm used to. Still waiting for these servers to come up. Nothing in announcements. I mean, hopefully they actually figured out what was going on. This is probably an icon I might change to. I don't know for sure. We will have to see. But I kind of like my sheriff one. But then these caps, I always like to save these caps on my main account. I don't have a character that really needs caps. Generally what happens is I have to keep myself somewhere around 20,000, even though I have a aristocrat's armor. I try to keep myself around 20,000 because I do tend to sell stuff just from the amount of events that I do. I have a lot of events plans, and I sell them. But sometimes I'll get low, and then I'll camp hop, try to find some stuff to buy, either mods or other stuff, and I'll realize somebody has something that I need, so I'll be too short to buy it. So I like to save these little caps for when that moment arises. Rebar Club, I'm assuming, is a Super Sledge skin. I don't use a Super Sledge, but it's always nice to have skins. Especially, well, not as much anymore. Now that you can lock items, it doesn't matter as much. But it used to be if you had a scoreboard or an Atom Shop skin, you would never see it in the sell list. And again, if you are joining, I was going to be playing. I was able to get into the server, and then they brought the servers down right after I got in and started the stream. So I'm just going over the scoreboard as of right now. Just stuff to get. And I'm also paying attention to the Discord to see if things change on the Discord. Lawnmower is nice, though. The problem with lawnmowers is not really a lot of places in Appalachia that you'd want to have a lawnmower, especially like a cleaner one like this one is. And so I don't know exactly where you would use this lawnmower, unless you're doing a White Springs camp. I mean, you can put a lawnmower there. If it gets hidden kind of within the grass, then it does make it nice, but yeah. Again, scout banner's useless. Assault table. Again, the Raider theme. I am glad that they're finishing out the Raider theme stuff, because I think now you can get basically every crafting table Raider-ish or Raider. So you could really push out a Raider camp. More stab stuff. I think I like the combat knife better than I like this throwing knife, but I mean, you can switch between the two. Skull prefix, Skullcat. Vending machines. I don't like vending machines. They're too random for my liking. I used to put them in my camp all the time, but now I just don't put them in my camp very much. More atoms. The atoms is if it didn't have so many atoms. I checked. Last season had 1,600, so I still guess you could get away with buying the season and then having still making a net positive on it. Again, it's all relative, because like I said with this season, there's 1,000 free atoms, and there's 1,000 non-free atoms. So, excuse me, you're technically losing 1,000 if you pay for the season pass. Or you're losing 500 if you pay for the season pass, but you're getting it back from the free stuff anyway. But I will say, though, that the vending machine does add for a little bit of if you are going to do that Raider camp, it is Raiderish. So it does allow you to do Raiderish stuff. This is one of the things I'm really excited about. I like prefabs. I know generally a lot of people don't like prefabs, but I love prefabs. I like collecting them. And this truck is one of the reasons why I decided on my second account that I was going to pay for the season pass, because it looks nice. The only problem is that when you see these in game, and I wish I could go in the game and find one and show it, these are pretty big trucks. They're pretty long. It'll probably take you from one side of your camp to the other side of the camp. But still, definitely can build around it. If you kind of keep on clicking on the arrow. So if you kind of either this prefab or like the scrap walls, like the scrap walls will look really nice if you mix these scrap walls with the the base stuff that you get in the game, you could build some really nice buildings out of these. And like if you can just, let's say the truck, you have to put it through the center camp, because I don't know how big it is. I just go off how big the actual trucks are in the game. So I'm assuming that's going to go from one end from the other. You could still build around this prefab, and with the other materials, even within this season itself. This lamp, I'm kind of meh on this lamp. So it's page number 7 for the next boost. Raider Fermenter. Cat Bandit. Again, so the bobbleheads I go along with me with the with magazines and stuff like that. Kind of, I don't know. I don't want. I'm not going to spend my tickets on those when I can get other stuff. Score boosters. Hopefully, so I have 3 on my free account, and hopefully I can get to page 7 before going through 3 of them. These perk coins, I really do like. It used to be, I'm not doing it on my current account, but on my other account, I did spend a lot of the end seasons on perk coins. So I was trying to get the stuff up, but I'm not going to do that so much, especially this season, because at the end of the season they have the stamps, which I found out, especially when I made this account, because somebody was selling the civil engineers. Someone was selling civil engineers gear that was totally maxed modded. So it had buttress and it had deep pocket on it, except for the chest plate, which they had put a jetpack on, which I appreciated. But I didn't realize that stuff can be sold or traded, because generally the high end stuff, so the Brotherhood Recon and the Secret Service can't be traded. And the Civil Engineers is equal to the Brotherhood Recon with a couple more bonuses. I think it's actually better. And then stat wise is a little bit less, though. With the Civil Engineers, it does give you bonuses to, if somebody attacks you, they take damage, which happens actually more often than the stats says it should. And then I believe the second one is that the damage, there's a your weapons don't break as fast, which is absolutely amazing, especially when you're a low level character. When you're free to play, you don't want to, and you can't just be have broken weapons all the time. So I do appreciate the person who was selling the Civil Engineers, but with that being said, stamps at the end of the season, I love it, because the Civil Engineers is just by doing the Rose Room quest line for most of it, and then there's some of the stuff you need to actually buy from the stamps merchant in White Springs. But yeah. Dom Pedro, I am actually really excited about Dom Pedro. I am currently playing a reverse onslaught on all my characters, to be honest with you, and reverse onslaught does a lot of damage. When you shoot something and it does 6,000 damage, you feel good about it. that's the best thing I can do. You feel really good about it, and so I'm actually excited about Dom Pedro. I really want to play with it just from a reverse onslaught. But we will. I mean, that's page 7, so that's gonna be a couple weeks before I can get that. And you don't get the mods right away. They're a little bit spread out. So these wall-mounted walkways, if this was before they relaxed the camp uh, building restrictions, um, I would have hated these. I hated them when the first set of them that we got a couple seasons ago. But now that you can actually set them properly, and it doesn't have to be exactly trying to find something to attach it to. It does make it so you can use them. Plus, you can kind of butt them up a little bit better. So, having more of them, and again, Raider themed this season. Um, I mean, if you're going to build that Raider camp, this is a reason to. Skeletal scratching coat post for the cats. Probably not my favorite scratching post. I think that would be the mushroom last season, but it is what it is. More stamps. Gotta love the stamps. Again, with the caps, I tend to save the caps until they just check it real quick. Save the caps until I absolutely need them. The problem I have with cats. Just a second.
What's the problem with a cat?
Wife came in. The problem with the cats is that when you look at the cats, they're all on the same skin, every single one of them. And every time I see a new cat, I'm like, that's not what that cat should look like. With the Lycoi, that's not what a Lycoi looks like. It's like when they had the ragdoll. It's not what a ragdoll looks like. Um, yeah, I think they get the dogs better than they get the cats, because the cats, they just have one body for the cats, and they just change the skin a little bit. Um, so it's uh, I will probably get the cat because it's a cat, and I might throw it in. I mean, make a good ghoul cat or a raider cat. Though you're probably gonna put like one of the Rottweiler or something like that, or the mongrel. But yeah, not a fan of that icon. But it is what it is. Again, not excited about these the golf course stuff, but it is what it is. And don't care about the lamp. That's just grip mods. I think, what point do you actually get all of the mods? There was a set of mods there. There was a set of mods there. Is it by the last page? No, wait, I thought Dom Pedro was earlier. Yeah. I'm confused. It'll probably make sense at one point, but still no updates to servers. This is probably one of the worst Fallout releases, except for maybe launch, that I've seen in a very long time. Um, Mystery machines. If you want a good mystery machine, that's not this. Just get the cigarette collector, because that gives you random chems, and you don't have to pay 25 or 15 caps for it. Love the atoms. Again, t-shirts. I will probably get the t-shirt just because I will. At some point, I'll be running around. I'll decide to do a themed character. Um. Well, that is that the stash box. That must be the stash box for the season instead of the grave. Stash box. So they need to add. It's actually one of the reasons why I like the ammo one. The ammo box is because they really do need to add more non ammo box looking ammo. So like the weapons crate that they added a couple seasons ago was amazing, and I'm glad they did, because sometimes I just don't want an big giant ammo thing in my camp. And so just different designs for it. I kind of wish what they would do is do a suitcase, or not a suitcase, but an ammo bag, like they have in the camper tent. If I could put one of those in my camp, I would be absolutely just giddy with joy, because you could put those in your camp and make a sense, or something like an ammo box or something of those that is an ammo storage or something like that. Because right now, your choices are limited, and right now the only non-standard looks that you can get is the big old weapons crate, or the grave for this season. I am excited about the Crash Cargo Box. I don't know how big it's going to be, which could be an issue, but if I remember right, it collects electronics, like circuit boards and stuff like that. We already have one with the Enclave computer, but circuits tend to be one of the things you tend to have to do with dailies a lot. In copper and other stuff like that. So, well, and copper is important just for creating ammo. So yeah, I am happy with the Raider Tavern. I mean, basically at this point, you can do like in one of the either the, I don't remember the names of them. Well, even the terrace one, but one of the bigger shelters, you could literally do like a Raiders versus Settlers, where you can kind of mirror of them and do like a PvP match in there. Just because they have given us a Raider version of the big lodge now with the Raider version of the tavern, so it's all nice. Pikes are nice. They'll go well with the wall stuff that we got a couple seasons ago. Fiendish Cat, is that right? Yeah, Fiendish Cat. More mods. I like me some power armor skins. So I'm happy to see that. I like the porch kit along with the walls and all that stuff. Like I said, you can mix this one right here because it's kind of mixed itself. You can mix it with all of your standard stuff and make a really decent camp house out of. The Steins are pointless to me. The Grave Aid Box, Cat Diard. I find it funny that they added some sofa set in here. Because it doesn't really kind of match the theme for anything on this. Just as random Vault-Tec stuff. It's not Dino Park and it's not Raider themed. It's just, but I guess they needed to throw something on there that to fill space, apparently. And at least it wasn't like lunchboxes. I guess that's the benefit of it. It wasn't lunchboxes. And then on my free-to-play account, I don't have a Collectron, so I will be using this Collectron. It's not the best Collectron when I was looking at the stuff that you get from it. Hey, Stab Dex. A raiding cat. You can be a raiding cat. These floating or at least the old floating platforms are nice. I'm not sure if I like these as much as the ones we got a couple seasons ago, but at least they're there. I am glad to see another fish trap. When you look at fish traps, don't think of fish trap as you get fish out of it. Think as you get legendaries out of it, because that's basically what it is you let it fill up, take them all out, craft them down until to fish bits. Go take them over to Linda Lee, give them to Linda Lee, and she'll spit out a legendary to you. Actually, looking at this, I think this is the best icon here. But yeah, so it's a legendary collector. It's actually just like having a pet in your camp. Currently, they've given us 2 legendary collectors. They give us the fish trap, and they gave us the pet. So can't really hate that. And then more of the mods. And again, like I said, I actually do like this camp's this wall and ceiling set, because I do think you can mix it pretty well with stuff to make a really good camp out of it, or a really good house. And again, gotta love stamps. I'm so glad. If it wasn't stamps on here, I would have just bought gold bullion. Just would have spent all my leftover tickets on gold bullion. But the fact that one of the best tradable armors in the game is purchased through stamps with the civil engineers. Stamps, like, you get that on at least one of your characters, and you can do you can not probably making a lot of caps, but you can make some caps out of it. The 2 times that I bought Civil Engineer, fully buffed up Civil Engineer, the person was selling it for $300 each, which I actually really do think it's underselling it, but I'm not going to complain about it because I geared out a character with it. But overall, it doesn't have bowling balls. I'm glad this season does not have bowling balls. I have bowling balls and pink furniture. I'm glad that is not on the scoreboard, because I could not think when I looked at it. I generally look at stuff when I go through it, because what kind of theme of a camp could that go in? What kind of theme of a camp could that go in? But I looked at bowling balls and pink furniture, and I went, I don't want any of this. I'm not going to build a theme camp for this at any point. I mean, maybe a joke camp with the pink stuff, but I mean, nothing to say. If you like pink, that's your choice. But I don't know. It's just like it looks tacky to me to have pink furniture. So I am glad that this season. So we had a good season for the Enclave season. The fishing season was kind of. It was a season that had stuff that I wanted, but some stuff, and then this last season just was like 90% of the stuff. It's the first time. Generally, I purchase stuff as I'm going through the season. I'll like pick that up, that up. And then last season, I got all the way up to like 120, and I was like, I guess I got to start spending my tickets on stuff, to be able to buy stuff on the last page, and so that's what I did. But overall, I think this season's scoreboard is actually pretty decent. Again, it has a decent amount of gold bullion on it. It has 2,000. 1,000 free, 1,000 tied behind Fallout First, or the season pass, and then it just has stuff that you can use in your camp. Everybody flips between a raider camp and stuff like that. So, raider camp or a settler camp or Mothman camp, but there's stuff in here that everybody can use. So overall, I think it's a really good season. Happy to see them kind of listen to some feedback, I think. or next season's just gonna have 20 more bully balls. But my wife poked her head in here earlier. We actually have to go to the grocery store. I was gonna try to hopefully get some games in before I had to leave the house. But unfortunately, Bethesda goes, no, you may not do that. And so, yeah. I do appreciate those who have came and joined me to go through and look at the season here. Why we waited for the score, the thing to come back up. Man, there's so much stuff I could have did today if only if they would have just listed the people the last 2 months. All right, I'm gonna go on a rant. This is not new. The whole server issues. This is issues that have been going on for the last few months now. Actually, for more than that, because this goes all the way back to when the Big Bloom was actually first launched. They did some changes to the server, and then like the server's been iffy ever since then. So the fact that they do a big release and suddenly the servers just cannot handle the amount of people trying to get onto them, it doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised at all. Hopefully they take a look at this and realize that they do need to improve server performance like a big amount. But again, that's just my small little rant. I am going to take off. I might stream here a little bit later on once we can get into the game after I come back from the grocery store. So if you do like what you see, go ahead and hit that like. If you like to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when I stream again. I appreciate all those who came and kind of watched me just go over this, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.